cell is the nucleus present. Within the nucleus, that is the entire genetic material is present and represented by these 23 sets of 23 pairs of human chromosomes, and these human chromosomes are making a compact structure due to the comprisation of this histone protein holding the whole of the genetic material, that is the DNA. DNA is a double helical structure which is wound, it's wrapped, as you can see. This is the sugar phosphate backbone which is wrapped around each other, so it's looking like this, making a perfect rotation of 10.5 base pairs per turn, and when it is rotating, the structure is this. But when it is unwind, means we have to open up the two backbones, the two sides. When we need to open up this, then we will be able to see this ladder-like structure, which is, this is the sugar phosphate backbone, these are the nucleic acid bases, and represented by the four letters A, T and G, C. As you can see, A combines with T, G combines with C. Similarly, C combines with G and T combines with A. This is how the whole setting is there. On opening this, we find this structure. Now, what the technicians, the skilled technicians, in labs, what was the process done? We need to do genome sequencing, which is such a large stretch of nucleic acid bases. Now we have to sequence it. The first step was blood sample being collected from individuals. From humans, we have collected the blood samples, we have extracted the DNA from them, and then the technicians have introduced high frequency sound waves. Now, when the high frequency sound waves were introduced onto this human genome, what was happening is this whole structure got chopped off. That means it was cut. Skilled technicians, scientists have taken blood samples, they have extracted the DNA from the blood samples from individuals, extraction of DNA, and then inserted into a sequencer, which is an instrument that will help us to sequence the genome. Now, what the sequencer's job is? Let's see what is happening when the sample's DNA extraction was done and the extracted DNA was inserted into the sequencer. When it was inserted into the sequencer, this whole genome got, introduction of some high frequency sound waves were done. The motive of introduction of these high frequency sound waves were to break or cut this entire genome into smaller pieces. So when it got cut, this whole structure looked like this. There are small pieces, say in each section of this piece is the 600 almost base pairs. Each base pair we denote with the letter A, T, G, C. It's the story of the four letters. Now we do not know, we know this much that we have got some nucleic bases, but which nucleic acid comes after what, we do not know that. Now the sequencer has got the sample inserted, high frequency sound waves have done their job, they have chopped up the small pieces. Now the next job is, after chopping it into smaller pieces, what is the duty of this sequencer? The duty of this sequencer is right now to add some tags to it so that it could be marked with a different color. Each and every segment or a fragment of DNA is, say, 600 base pairs, is going to hold a different color. I have taken one segment like this, I have taken one segment like this. Each and every segmented DNA is so small and so little that without making multiple copies it will be problem. So in the sequencer machine, what is done is this small piece is going to be tagged with a different color. A different color tag will be used, which will be acting like a marker. Say this is having a tag attached red. This is frequency sound waves chopped up the smaller, the entire genome into smaller pieces. Each piece could have had, say, 600 bases represented by, means each and every color means colors, of course we will do it later, but right now these are each of the single segment of DNA, which is so small. Now what was done, each segment of DNA was taken and was marked with a different color tag, and this tag could now be attached to the glass slide. Now what happened when the sequencer was doing its job, each segment had to be made into multiple number of copies. The sequencer's job was what? That is, each of this segment of DNA was made into multiple number of copies and formed clusters, many DNAs which were looking identical. That means clusters of identical DNA fragments. But it was difficult to understand that what was the sequence of their arrangement, whether it was AA, TT, GC, how to understand whether this was the sequence? This was difficult. So what was done then is, after making multiple copies of each and every segment of DNA, there had to be, the sequencer had to identify each base at a time, every base had a different color tag. This was the advantage of using. Sequencer identified each nucleic base with a different color tag. This is how we have known that identification of the tags, the colors were helping us to understand which nucleic base was it. And then after getting all those nucleic bases, the colors, next was the computers which were used to understand the entire sequence by piecing together, it had to assemble all of these fragments together. Now first it was chopping and now it is piecing together. All these pieces must be put in correct order, that which sequence comes after what, and will be, if this is the sequence AATTGC, then the colored tags should be like this. For A, if I have used red, then it should be red, again for T a different color. So by understanding that colored sequence, we'll be able to understand the entire set of genome that is present, and that will be done by the computers. When piecing together, the problem could be, one could be overlapping, there should not be gaps, but then again the overlapping there could be that when these pieces were brought together, it could have happened that there could be some overlapping of this sequence. That also is a problem. So this is an overall view I have given, that how it is done. And next is, how many types of genome sequencing are there? There are so many methods that are there. Right now I will give again a brief analysis about few methods. There are some detailed methods also which we can discuss in some other videos. Sanger method, second generation method. Understand what are the types of genome sequencing. In this video, I will not be covering the Sanger method and the second generation method, or some use of some arrays, which I am not going to discuss. Overall view of this topic I am going to give you, that is types of genome sequencing. First is whole genome sequencing. That means the entire genome will be sequenced. In this case, we can also say starting from the very beginning. So that's why we say de novo genome sequencing. And in this case, without the availability of the reference genome, we have to do it. Otherwise, we can also talk about the resequencing. Resequencing means once this genome was sequenced, then again we had to assemble it, and this time with the help of reference genome, which is going to be used as a template, and it is being used in case of human genes and in the human genome. So this has been practiced as resequencing. Then comes targeted genome sequencing. In case of targeted genome sequencing, what is done is that a certain area of interest had to be focused on, and this is going to be very beneficial if we had to know about some disease. So any variation that was caused in the gene could be understood, and naturally the scientists had to make full use of this targeted genome sequencing, in which the entire genome's one section could be targeted focused to sequence it and understand the points that had to be studied, and these are very much used in genetic variations. You will be in this case we had to go for a PCR reaction also, where we had to make copies. And the very last point is exome pull down. What is an exome? Exome. See, within the genome there are regions where only the protein coding sequence is present. That means the genes which will be able to only code the protein, and a whole collection of that region, the region of that within genome, a certain region that has only the instructions to make proteins, that is the protein coding genes will be present, is known as exome, and that section will be sequenced. This is what the exome pull down is all about. Not the entire genome will be sequenced, only the protein coding section or the regions which are having all the protein coding genes will be there, and that section will be picked and sequenced. This is an overall view of this genome sequencing. So I have tried to cover some of the topics of genome sequencing, missing out of course Sanger method, second generation method, which requires each and every part to be discussed in a descriptive manner. So for that I will be doing it in some other video, and right now I have not discussed why today I have taken this topic. Genome sequencing is a very important tool to understand the viral mutations that are taking place and causing the high transmissibility of this SARS-CoV-2. So that topic I'll be covering soon in another video. For this I need your support. I hope you will be supporting me to understand even more other topics, which you can write to me to give me some likes, comments.